And we are live. Please, please tell us that the video is working
Uh, uh,
and the audio is working. Hoping.
We actually switched services just
Yes,
because
we
that
did.
other one was doing the every couple of seconds minor freeze up. Yay!
Yes! Yes!
Thank God.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Oh, gosh. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. Audio is working good too. Oh, no. No, wait. What? Oh, okay. Okay, we're not freezing. That was an oops. Okay. God, don't scare me like this,
Yeah.
Jenny. Don't scare me. Perfect. Oh, this is awesome. So, hello. I'd like to say hello to, let's see, is Wilfredo here or was he just hanging? Wilfredo, you here?
Yeah, he's here. He's the first one online.
There you go. Hey, Wilfredo. Awesome. And Jenny, hello, Jenny. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy we're not freezing. And hola to Rick. Hi, Rick. Thank you for joining us tonight. And Stephanie, nice to have you here as well. Miguel and La Paz. Ooh, I bet it's really nice there. We're going to find out one day.
Eventually.
And what's it like? Oh no, spoke too soon. What? No, is it freezing? Please no. Is it?
I hope not.
I hope not too. Please not. Like your kitchen. Please just tell me, for everyone else, what's it like is saying it's freezing.
Hey, Pop. No.
So, okay.
No, still good. No, not freezing. Okay.
All right. Yeah, Jenny, this kitchen, oh my gosh. I'm still working on the terrible experience we had in Campeche video. And when we walked into this kitchen, it was so bright and so white and so clean. It just lifted my spirits after that really long ordeal. So we love it here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's not spacious by any stretch of the imagination,
No.
But it's only two of us. So and we got an extra bedroom and
yeah, it's storage.
We couldn't get anybody to spend the night because there's no room to get on the bed.
All our stuff is on the bed.
Yeah. And the floor and yeah.
Hola, Papa. Okay. Oh, beach bumbling. Welcome. Wondering what talent you might be considering next. We were kind of keeping them secret for a while, but I think it's kind of been out of the bag sort of for a while too. After Playa del Carmen, we're in Playa Car right now. I have a music festival and he has a swim up bar at the music festival. And that's going to be in Puerto Aventuras, but it's only for 4 days. 4 nights, 5 days. And we didn't want to haul all of our stuff in there. So we got an Airbnb for...
Well, neither did the porters.
No.
Yeah,
no.
They looked at us like when we pulled into Excellence and went, no.
No, not the whole car.
No.
So because we didn't want to haul all our things into a music festival, we got an Airbnb in Tulum. I don't know.
Well, and the other reason was we didn't want to do a 2-day drive all the way over to it. And
No. And Tulum wasn't originally in the plans. That was just something that was added so that I could attend the festival because it's my morning jacket and I love this band and I've only ever missed one of those festivals. And so, didn't want to miss it. I know. He likes the swim up bar. He doesn't like the music.
So, but after Tulum, we're getting back into our rotation. Tulum was sort of a toss in just so we could do that. And so after Tulum, we're going to Tuxtla Gutierrez and then San Cristobal de las Casas, then Huatuco, and then Oaxaca City, and then Puebla, and then our 6 months of going back to Querétaro.
We're going to take a 6-month break in Querétaro because the traveling is taking its toll a little bit. I never thought I'd say that, but I guess we're both older than we thought our brains thought we were. I don't know.
No, I think our brains were going, yeah, we can do all this.
Yeah.
And the body suddenly went, no, you can't.
You need a break. And then after that, we have a lot of places that we have in the planned list. We are going to do another stay in San Luis Potosi. And we've got some places as we're going to start migrating westward. So we're looking at Lakeside. So we're looking in the area around Jocotepec and Ajijic and Chapala. Guadalajara was not on the list per se, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I don't remember anymore.
Yeah. And I think that we scratched Acapulco because the damage is probably not going to be repaired in time.
We're basically traveling and picking places as we move. We didn't want to do some back and forth backtracking. So unfortunately, we don't think Acapulco will be ready, really.
And then we got Zihuatanejo and PV and Sayulita, and then we got to make a pre-stop in San Pancho.
For Sean.
Yeah.
We need to see Sean.
And then up the coast. So
yeah, I mean, we got a lot of places coming yet. We're only 8 cities in, and I think we have the list whittled down now to, I think, about 27, 26,
27.
Something like that. We got a lot of places to visit yet. Okay. Hey, hola, Sedona. Welcome. And Papa, what you got here? Pool is always very warm at the swim up bar. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe warm for not the reasons people want to know. Oh, yeah. Hey, Dave. Nude Beach by Osaka. I can't spell it. Do I really want to, Dave? Do we really want to see people naked? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I know they don't want to see me naked.
Yeah.
Hey, hola. Flying GP, what's up? Let's see. Just back to Western Colorado from 3 weeks in Nayarit and Mazatlan. Heading back in 3 weeks for a short 6 days. Can't wait. Only 6 days?
Man, that just whet the appetite.
I know. That's like an evil tease. I bet it was wonderful though. And that's why you're coming back.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight. And Karen, what you got here? Hi, Karen. Thank you for joining us online. You had me at Swim Up Bar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of the band. I tried really hard, and they're not my style. And so it's like, okay. That's fine. She can listen to the music. I find a bar someplace and sit out, have a cocktail.
Okay, look, the problem with the Swim Up Bar though is that the entire resort is sold out completely with people coming to this festival. 2
resorts.
Well, no, the second resort is just some rooms.
Yeah, they're over 80%. So I mean, we're
basically talking about an entire resort packed full of people who like this band, or at least like the band playing with the band. So he's at the Swim Up Bar with these people who are trying really hard to convince him that he's got to hear them live. And then they don't believe that he doesn't like them. So they keep trying to indoctrinate him into the land of Jacket. It doesn't work.
No. And it's like, guys, there's a reason why there are so many different types of bands and so many different genres of music. And they're not all because, everybody likes everything. And everybody has bands that just don't do anything for them. And this happens to be one for me.
That's it. So he's my roomie, and I see him for maybe half of the trip.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Hola, Eric. Thank you for joining us tonight. And it works.
Yes.
Works.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we want to give everybody a little update on, because we are both now halfway through the expat Spanish.
Oh yeah.
And
How's that going?
How's it going? And I got to say, it's an easy way of learning. It's engaging. It is fun. I mean, the lessons are fun. And if you do the work in advance, it's really not too difficult to actually start picking it up. And you do learn to speak. That's from my perspective.
Puedo hablar un poco español.
Hey, the good part about this whole thing is she actually had a conversation with a DHL driver who was trying to find out where we were at, and he didn't speak a lick of English. So
I'm not going to say it was an easy conversation, but I did figure out he was trying to ask me where the address was.
Mm-hmm.
So we struggled through it, and he found us. That was scary.
Yeah, I mean, and it's, I mean, and she does have some very good and easy way of remembering some of the difficult terminology.
Wait. Let me say this one because I struggle with this. 15, 50, and 500. So 500. Key, knee, and toes. Key, knee, and toes. Boom. Now I can remember 500.
Yeah. I mean, it's that, you know, she has some really good ways of remembering things. And it's sort of interesting because this place is not very, like I said, it's not very big. And so both of us are listening to the other's lessons, and it's sort of hard to shut up for both of us during the lessons. Cause it's like, you know, oh, I know that. No.
You know,
but
I have learned more vocabulary than I knew beforehand, and I'm learning sentence structure. Although where I'm at right now, it's just limited to the familiar you and the I. So, you know, and that's where I think I'm going to struggle the most is all the different various endings that go on to a verb. But it is just so wonderful to finally understand that the only verb I have to worry about doing that with is the first verb. So if I want to say I can, it's puedo, and then anything after that is just the root word, basically.
Yeah, it's just changing the ending,
which is really helpful so far.
You know, puedes, puede, podemos.
Picking up the numbers has been easier for me. I still struggle putting time in every day. That has been a struggle, and I have found myself catching up on the day of the lesson to get caught up. There are PDF files that you can download that are full of very good vocabulary and sentence structures for studying from.
And the flashcards are very good.
The flashcards are awesome.
Yeah.
I love the flashcards.
So anybody who isn't aware of what it is is actually called Expat Spanish.
Yeah.
It's of course designed by a very bright young lady called called. Yeah. Hey. Sorry, Amy, I just misspoke there. No, her name is Amy Whitney, and she's out of Puerto Vallarta, and she struggled. And then when she figured out what worked for her, she was bright enough to go, you know what? This may work for other people. And so she put together this whole course, and Gina's taking lesson 1. I started with lesson 2, and it's up to now lesson 5. She actually has 5 different levels of it. So,
not lesson 5, level 5.
No, level 5.
Yes.
Oh, level 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so it's a very good and easy and simple way to learn it. And I think we have a link down below. In
one of our normal videos.
Yeah, one of our normal videos.
Yeah. But I mean, I like it. I'm making more progress with it. I don't know if it's just because of the style of teaching, or if it's just the fact that I do have to put in the time to be ready for a live class, where I'm held accountable, and they don't hold any punches. They take every person in that class, and one at a time they ask each person a question. And so you're on the spot in the class. So, you kind of have to know what you're doing, or at least attempt to figure out what you're doing. You'll get corrected if you're wrong, but the accountability, I think, is helping me. So.
Well, and I think the other part is having the same people in the class every time, just like we were back in school. You got the same people. And so it's sort of fun, and you don't want to be the one to hold everybody back and everything else. So there is sort of that accountability, and it's, okay. It's pretty good. I think I find it very effective. So
meta. I learned I don't have to say quiero now. I can say meta. And I bet the next level is going to be me gustaría. I bet. I'm going to find out.
Well, you could always go ahead.
That's true. Right. Yeah. I'm not doing that yet. So I want to catch up on comments. So Susan, hi from Texas. Hola, Susan. We've been watching y'all for a while. I'm meaning to ask Gina, what is your favorite Genesis song? Oh, that's good. What is my favorite Genesis song?
Oh my God!
No, I think I know what it is. Yeah, there's a bunch of them I love, but I think the one that stands out for me is actually
Duchess.
I love Duchess. No, I do.
Okay.
I like Duchess because it was one of those songs they would never play live, and they played it live in the last tour. But
yeah, and they cut Misunderstanding for Duchess.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with the Phil Collins era on this one. If it was the Peter Gabriel era, I would say Cinema Show. But because I'm going to say Phil Collins era, because I really think this is my favorite, it's the 2-part In the Glow of the Night, followed by Domino. And you got to play them together. Just have to. I just love Domino so much.
Mine's easy.
Yeah.
In the Air Tonight.
No.
I knew you were going to do that. That's why I said it.
It's not a Genesis song.
I did that just to get the reaction. Anyway.
Not a Genesis song.
Okay.
And so your wife is there. Oh, your wife's here until March. Ah, okay. So
I wouldn't say here. It's a big country. People don't.
No, but in Mexico.
In Mexico, yeah.
And so you're flying back and forth from Colorado while you work. Okay. Yeah, that'd be nice, huh? Staying for good, stopping all that flying. Okay, so.
Hola, David. How's the baby?
Oh my gosh, it's David. Congratulations, because I don't think we ever told you live on having a baby boy.
Yep. Proud Papa.
Proud Papa, yes, sir. Got to see the photo finally. We've been thinking about you, David, because, we're going to be coming back to Querétaro soon, sooner than you think. So we want to see the baby and Larissa. Oh, let's see. Okay, Rick, how did you find the better security motel hotels on the road? And what is your take on the current highway insecurity crime issues? Did you know any Spanish at the start of your journey? Well, that's a threefer.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with the Spanish at the start of our journey. My answer to that is no. I knew very little.
Very, very.
I knew very simple words, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how to say my name. My name is. It's about it. Where's my husband? I knew how to say that. That's it.
Donde está el baños?
Yeah.
The
very simple,
the
basic.
simple phrases.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit further ahead when we crossed the border, but I quickly realized when we got across the border and we're standing there at immigration and he wasn't going to let us in and he's rattling on, and that was the realization of, oh, I really don't know squat in Spanish, because he was.
Well, there was that. And then there was also, we did get stopped at a checkpoint. And
3 or 4 times.
Well, yeah, but there was one checkpoint in particular where he froze up and he kind of knew what he needed to say after we.
Well, the guy's standing there with a gun.
Yeah.
I mean, and he was pleasant and everything else, but it was just like,
he froze up.
Yep.
It was our first major interaction on our own.
On our own.
and it's intimidating because it's police, even though they weren't doing anything
No.
to try to intimidate us. It was just, it's an intimidating situation.
Well, I think the intimidation was because I didn't speak Spanish well enough.
Right.
And so the pressure was totally on me because I put it on me, not because they put it on me.
Right.
And I mean, literally, we had gone 500 yards and I'm going, Cosas de la Cocina y Ropa. And because they wanted to know what was in the roof bag.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally after we drove, it was like, duh, here's the words, Mark. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so,
and it's just a matter of getting used to hearing. It's one thing to take a class and they're teaching you probably Castilian Spanish and not really Latin American or let alone Mexican Spanish.
yeah, that would be Duolingo's
Yeah.
biggest downfall. Duolingo is great for building the vocabulary. And there's a couple of things that aren't quite right for Mexico versus like they want to use the word piscina for the pool. That's not what they use down here. And they call a jacket a chaqueta, and you don't use the word chaqueta in Mexico.
In Mexico, no. You don't want to use that.
That's
bad.
That's well, it's not bad if you're by yourself, no one's going to be around, but other than that.
It's basically self-pleasuring.
Yes.
So you don't want to say that word here.
No.
And what's pool? Alberca? I think
Abierca.
It's not piscina. So I mean, there's differences, and you have to get used to hearing the different accents too. Because I didn't think that in Mexico the double L sounded like a J. I thought that was like a Puerto Rican thing, some other country. No. It depends on where you are in Mexico. So me llamo may be me llamo, but it may also be me llamo.
Well, I mean, you think about it. The English in the United States is not the same from one end all the way through. It changes. Right. So
and then
the highway security, fortunately, we've been here in the Yucatan since, oh my God, June. And we haven't left the Yucatan Peninsula area. We've driven all over the Yucatan Peninsula area, but we haven't left. So, and nothing's really going on down here. And so it really hadn't affected us. As far as how do we find the hotel motels, that is...
give me a minute. I'll share an actual link so you can see it, because I love that I have the ability to do this. I just have to find it. There we go.
It's this website, motelesdemexico.com. And what I do, we'll pick a city. The one we just got done doing in Campeche. When we were looking, because we wanted a place to spend the night and go, okay, we want a hot shower and we want to get some sleep. And so I opened up motelesdemexico.com and entered, it comes up and lists all the states. And so I went to Campeche, and then it lists the cities inside Campeche. And then I selected, the Ciudad de Campeche, and it lists all of the motels. And what I do is I go through them. First thing I do is I always look for the most expensive. Hey, you're asking how I do it.
Yep.
I look for the most expensive, and the most expensive are not expensive. I mean, we're talking, in Campeche, the one came up that we stayed at 250 from, desde de 250 pesos. So you can get rooms from 250 pesos. And again, those are for the sessions.
Yeah.
But I start with the most expensive, and then down below, as you go down, there's a map that shows the location of it, and then off in the upper left-hand corner, there is normally there's a box, and it tells you what the star ranking is. And I click on the reviews. I go to the reviews. Then they also have the photos. And so I scroll through the reviews, look at them, and I don't pay attention to the ones 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, because to me, everything's going to change. And so I pay attention to the ones that are more current. And then I look at the pictures, because one of the things I always want to look for is I want to make sure that I get a picture of the outside of it that shows the doors, because not a lot, there are some that do not have physical garage doors. They have curtains. Well, if all we were doing was going to look to have a clandestine getaway, curtain would work fine. With all of our stuff that we own is in the car, we want a physical garage door.
Yeah.
So that's I scroll through the pictures real quick, looking for the one outside, take a little bit of a gander to go, okay, yeah, this looks nice. It's clean, boom, boom, boom. And that's how we do it. And normally we try to stay 4.5 stars or above out of the rankings, and we really haven't been bit yet. So
No, it's been good.
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go to this next question too, if it'll show it. There we go. Okay, so yes, it is important to understand Spanish so that your life is easier. And I want to just give you really quickly, the last couple of days has really been running me down, maybe about a week. I ordered, or two, I ordered stop. I ordered a replacement cell phone in Mexico. I did it in Mexico because it dawned on me that I've been paying for service for our cell phones in the United States. If we ever needed service, they're not going to do the service on our phones in Mexico. So I canceled those. And I was having issues with my charging port. There's connectivity issues. And I'm like, okay, I can't have this happen. It's time for me to do a trade-in anyway. So I go to Samsung Mexico and I set up to do a trade-in. Now, navigating the fact that they do things differently here anyway, with regard to how it's paid for, how the trade-in value is given to you, when you get the money for the trade-in, all these other things. This is all a little bit different than the way they do it in the US. And it did not go the way it was supposed to. Number one, they sent my earbuds separately and they arrived all right. They were here.
That was the phone call.
That was the phone call. The phone and 2 cases, because I didn't know they were giving me a free case. So there's issue number 2. I didn't know what I was getting that was additional, but I wanted a specific type of case anyway. Doesn't matter. The cases in the phone were coming about a week later. So they put the wrong address on them. Now I have to navigate.
This is the same company that shipped the earbuds that got here.
Now I have to navigate DHL, because DHL wants me to update the address, and I keep trying, but it's not working right. And finally I gave up, and I'm like, all right, I got to find a place for them to just take it to so I could pick it up. Well, I accomplished that, but this was not an easy task. Even your Google Translate, I'm navigating all this in Spanish and translating into Mexican, or into English. So I finally get it delivered to a DHL location. I have to memorize what I want to say when I go to the counter to ask the person about getting my package. I get the package, I get back here. There is no return label in the package to send back my trade-in phone, which is different again than it is in the USA. Well, apparently I was supposed to get an email that I did not get that had instructions on how to return the phone. Somehow I went through their website and thought I was understanding that I would have to take it to a technician. Well, where's the technician going to be? In a store. So we finally managed to take the phone to a Samsung store. Guess what? They don't do the trade-ins. I was supposed to get an email that I didn't get. And it was really hard. This poor customer service person at the Samsung store, she's not used to doing this stuff. This isn't what they do.
No.
She's trying to help me get to customer service, but I'm not able to navigate customer service because it's in Spanish, even though she said that I should be able to pick the option for English, except I never heard an option for English. I'm not putting Samsung Mexico down for this.
No,
but
it's just different.
Samsung Mexico is a Samsung company that's international. Mm-hmm. If you were to call Samsung in the United States, the first things you would hear is dial, press 1 for English or whatever, 2 for Spanish, but they don't do that here. So I don't have an English option. Now I'm trying to navigate in Spanish. This is not working. So I finally get online, and now I have to do customer service live chat in Spanish. And again, I'm hitting Google Translate and everything else to try to explain to this customer service tech that I need to return this phone. Now, guys, this should be an easy process. But if you don't understand Spanish that well in the first place, now we're at a higher, more technical level. This is hard. And this is a basic thing. I should be able to do this, and I can't. So just an example.
And for anybody who is going to be down here or is here in Mexico that has AT&T and is retaining AT&T in the U.S.,
that's another thing.
You might want to have a family member or somebody else make them an authorized user, because switching phones, your SIM card over, is very problematic, and there is nobody down here that will be able to assist you at all. I mean, it's just, it has to be done in a store, or they will mail you.
Oh, I had to jump through hoops and rings of fire.
So
even with her standing there with the authorization, I still had to go through fraud alert and get her cleared while she stood in the store. Just anyway.
Yeah. So, but just that was the workaround that we ended up coming up with, and it actually went rather smoothly. And fortunately, our daughter was able, the youngest one was able to go to the AT&T store, and she explained what was going on. And of course, they went through the various verifications of yes, boom, 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 and ended up being all things good. So.
Oh, let's see. Here we go. Do we have plans to visit anywhere in Baja? We do. Yes, we do. And it's going to be closer to the end of our 4 years.
Yeah.
Because we basically we started in the middle, made our way to Yucatan, and now we're going to be working our way west, south, and west across the country.
And then back up the middle a little bit, and then back over to the West Coast and work our way up the West Coast, and then take the ferry to La Paz. And I think we actually, at one time, we're going to do San Jose de los Cabos, La Paz, and Loreto. And I think we decided that we were going to do a longer stay in La Paz and then just do day trips to the other. I can't remember
right now.
We've massaged it so many times that
when we started, after the whole bad Airbnb and Campeche experience, we were very tired. And we really, really needed, in our last live, we kind of talked about it. We needed to just sit down and just say, okay, look, the traveling is starting to wear on us, and we need to take a break.
Yep.
And we still want to continue to visit these other places, but we just need to take a break just for a little while. It's funny because some of the places we stay for a month, you blink and the month is over.
Cool.
And I feel like
I just unloaded the car and I'm putting the stuff back in it.
I feel like you can't really go stay someplace for a week or 2 weeks and really deep down understand what it's like to live in that place. So we thought the minimum would be a month. And then we extended those to 2 or 3 months in some places that we really thought had a very strong chance. And
this was, and part of this was, we did this sitting on the couch in the United States.
Be right back.
And so there's a whole big difference between what we perceived back in the US and what is actuality here in Mexico. So it really has made a big difference being down here, because some of the ones that we thought would be definitely in contention when we were down here, not so much. And there's San Luis Potosí was never even on our list. And then we changed our itinerary, went and spent a month there, and went, oh crap, this is way up high on the list now.
Yeah,
so
we need to go back.
We never know. And the sad part is we have 4 years to figure this out, and there's no way we're going to hit every one of the potential cities, because there's so many spots here in Mexico that we get from all of you subscribers going, need to try here, need to try there, need to try here.
Yeah.
Some of them are on the list, some of them aren't. Some of them we look at and go, ooh, maybe we should have added that. And it's sort of a, what do we take out? And that's, again, because we haven't been to some of them, we don't know until we get there. And I mean, honestly, we have not had one yet that we've walked in and gone, ooh, this really shouldn't have been on the list. Even Campeche, loved what we saw of Campeche in the short time we were there,
Yeah.
other than the Airbnb. But the town itself, I mean, I would love to go back and spend some time in Campeche because
But it was true. We were there in January and it
Yeah.
was hot. It was hot.
it is hot.
It was really hot. It was uncomfortably warm. So Campeche will probably not end up ever being on the final list, but I do want to go back and at least visit. And I'm kind of sad that that didn't happen, but oh well, can't change that. Hola, Tom.
Yes, of course, we're still friends. I am smart. I can get over this. So
I just don't like having my integrity called into question. That's all.
not a conversation for here.
No, it is not.
So yeah.
No, we're good, Tom.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Beach only. Okay, so we really like the vibe at Puerto Aventuras. We spent a couple of weeks. Oh, yeah, it's over there. Battery. One, I forgot to plug the laptop in. It's right here, right behind you. Behind you. All right, I got to do this. He can't find it. Go sit down, please.
Oh, hidden behind the cloth. Yeah, the computer just jumped up and went, you might want to think about plugging in because we're about to shut you off. But yeah, Puerto Aventuras, we liked that. We haven't really done much in Puerto Aventuras. We've been there to the Hard Rock.
And that's it.
And that's really it. And yes, we will definitely be, one of us will be having fun at the swim up bar.
Yeah.
But it'll be easier for her this time because she's not going to have to hold the rail, which that was, her choice.
Naughty burro.
So.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Naughty burro.
I see that. I see that. All right. And let's see. I finally figured out speak slow is lentamente, not despacio. Really? Of course, we are being taught slow. We're being taught despacio and más despacio. So maybe it depends on the region.
I don't know.
Which is entirely possible because there's differences in how to say, would you like a drink or something? Or yeah.
I mean, I have not had a problem using the,
Lenta,
habla más despacio, por favor. And, they may just look at me and go, well, dumb gringo doesn't know his Spanish, but I understand what he's trying to say.
Yeah,
so
maybe that's the case.
Yeah.
Okay. The answer is you don't make reservations.
No.
You literally roll up and you tell them how long you want to stay.
Well, she's talking the 14th because that's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I know.
And there are certain, I think that in Mexico City and some of the bigger places.
The bigger cities, maybe. They
do have the ability to make reservations. Most of the ones we've been in, they don't even hardly have a website. And if they do have a website, it's a Facebook presence, and it's not going to be there to take reservations or anything else. And
they don't even ask your name when you roll up. You just tell them what you want and you pay.
All they want is that money.
Let's see. Oh, hola, Ana. You missed the beginning. Good to see. It's good to see you too. You didn't miss much, really. We just had a couple questions about learning Spanish and automoteles and things like that, where we're going to be traveling to. And David, learning Spanish is an ongoing process. I've been in Mexico 8 years and I'm married to a Mexican, as you know, and Spanish is still a challenge.
If he still thinks it's a challenge, we in deep doo-doo.
Shh.
Well, I was nice. I
have hope. I have hope.
Let's put it this way. When I get to David's level, I'm going to feel a lot better about being able to live here in Mexico because he is able to navigate with no problem.
Making about a commitment to learn and practicing. No learning system is perfect but use the one that is fun and keeps you motivated. You know, now that I'm doing this expat Spanish, I think I'm going to start doing my gritty Spanish too, so I can pick up the slang.
Whatever.
That
Yeah.
would be fun. Oh, see. Okay, so Wilfredo, show your phone. What color did you end up getting? Oh, I got the violet. Violet. I can't really show you the phone though because it's also in a violet case. It looks black, but it's violet, I promise.
I mean, it's one of those things. Everybody goes, well, what color phone? Well, 99% of us put it in a case. So whatever color the phone is, to me, is superfluous because it's like, it's going to go in a case.
But here's the cool thing about it.
Yeah.
I can go into almost anything on this phone. It could be a live telephone conversation. It could be live back and forth talking to somebody present. It could be a voice recording that I put on there, and I can go up and I can say transcribe, and I can tell it what language I want to transcribe it in. So transcribe 29%, 95%, and it just transcribed the stupid voice message that I left for myself on here in Spanish.
They can't read that.
I can't read that. Yeah. Anyway, it's really cool that it does that. I did try to use that feature when I was trying to call customer support Samsung Mexico.
No.
But unfortunately,
no.
We were in a noisy mall. There was just a whole lot of, and I was frustrated.
We needed Tommy with us for that. That would have gone a lot easier had he been there.
That's so true. But
he'd have just been going da 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 da, and we'd been sitting there going.
The biggest. I know this is so stupid, but it is true. The biggest features on the phone, the translate's nice, but the biggest feature on the phone for me, and really for us, if you think about it, is the camera. Because that's the camera that I use to record all our videos, right? Is my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things
sounds stupid, doesn't it? I mean,
and it sounds stupid, but that's what it is.
I was in the photo industry for 35 years. And when those things first came out and we're starting to take pictures, I was the biggest anti-phone camera person walking the planet because it was like, it's got an itty bitty sensor. It cannot keep up with a camera.
Right.
And
it still can't.
It still can't, but I can tell you this, it has really narrowed the gap from a professional camera down to that. I mean, I could tell you that concert photographers actually complain about the quality of cell phone photos because it puts their job at risk. I remember going to I don't want to, what you want to call it, like a neighborhood meeting thing that was being presented by concert photographers. And that's one of the things they talked about was copyright and the fact that cell phone cameras are so good now that the need for the big equipment isn't really there, and it jeopardizes their income and their workflow. So anyway, about the phone, camera. So I had an S22 Galaxy Ultra prior to this, and I was upgrading to the S24 Galaxy Ultra, and it is got all kinds of AI incorporated into it. And I'm not going to get into the ramifications of AI. There's good and there's a lot of bad. So one of the things I notice is that it really, really goes over the top with the AI when it comes to videos and photography. I tried to do a video the other night. I had it on portrait mode because I like that it does a soft blur behind us, but it wouldn't stay focused on one of us. And so one person would be out, one would be in. And then I threw it the curveball because that particular one I decided I was going to wear a hat. And then for some reason, I kept taking the hat on and on because you guys see me all the time. I can't sit still. I mean, I'm always doing something. And so every time I take the hat off, it changed the focal point. The focal point just kept in and out, in and out, in and out. And I still have to learn to play with it and fix things like that. The other thing I noticed, and I am aware this is an AI image, but my old phone could take a picture of the moon that would blow your mind. This phone is supposed to be able to do the same thing, but it is too blown out. The lighting isn't quite right and the processing is not as good. I think maybe it needs to learn whatever AI they're using, just needs to learn whatever. The actual photographs themselves are more natural looking color wise, I think. Yeah, no, I mean, again, I spent 35 years in the industry. It's night and day. The progress from the 22 to the 24 is much better as far as the realistic colors. It does perform a whole lot better in the backlit situations, and
It does really well with night.
And when you try
vision.
and when you try and put some zoom onto it and everything else, it holds up the detail a lot longer than the S22 did. When you started to zoom in on the S22, it would fall apart a lot faster than what the 24 is. So,
yep. So that's the story about the phone.
Yep.
Miguel, easy day trips from La to Todos.
La Paz.
Oh,
To-
La Paz.
to-
Okay.
To all the
To Todos
Santos.
Santos. Okay. But Loreto and others are quite a drive. Happy
Yeah.
to help when you arrive. Awesome.
I mean, I think it's 6 hours or so to Loreto from La Paz. Something
And I don't
right.
even know how hard of a wish list Loreto was, to be honest.
Just
I think it was just put on there because it was a place that we thought we'd like to visit.
well,
I don't know.
and it was. Remember, at the time we were doing this, it was sort of a sleepy little bird, fishing town that was up on in the Gulf there, and we went. You know what? This could be interesting. And in literally the 2 years since we put together this, from what I understand, Loreto has absolutely blown up, and the real estate prices are going through the roof, and
it's not like we haven't seen that.
Like we haven't seen that occur. Like, I don't know, all over Mexico.
It's happening in a lot of places, unfortunately. Maybe you could give us a yay or nay on the validity of that statement. If the real estate,
everybody,
prices,
all around Mexico.
Oh, Susan, my question is regarding the tip. I have my 3-year temporary residency extension, and I know you do too. When you renewed your tip, did they do a 3-year tip? Yes, they did.
The tip always matches your residency.
Mm-hmm.
That is the way that works. So if you have a 3-year, if you got a 3-year extension, when you go to the aduana and they do the tip extension.
Okay, well, let's add in there. Usually, there's always a chance that somebody is doing their own thing.
Okay. The plan
Yeah.
is that it should always, supposedly it's supposed to always match what your residency is. And
Yeah.
when your residency expires, what? So I just had a problem with a word there.
Okay.
When it expires, that's when your tip is due to expire as well.
Yeah. And so like that would work if you have an FMM tourist visa, your tip should match the expiration of your tourist visa. So the same applies for your residency.
Yep.
It should always match the expiration date on your residency card. Yeah.
So we got the silver ghost out there for another 2.5 years plus.
My Espanol, yeah.
Well, that's after we've had enough, cerveza, it's like, Tom's over there going da 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 da, and I'm like, what? Yeah, dos más por favor, un mezcal.
No mezcal for me right now.
I didn't say right now. I said with Tommy.
Happy to help when you arrive in BCS. Traveled many years and been retired here for 5 years. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome, Miguel. Thank you. Gracias. Hey, Claudia. It is a good phone. Hard to navigate, but once you get used to the basics, you are in, I guess. I'm actually watching YouTube videos of people giving advice on best setups and things like that for it. I don't know. I mean, I like it. I like the extra features. I just don't know how often I'll use them, but I'm telling you right now, I think it's amazing. I could send him a text message and it'll send it, for me anyway, it'll show it in both English and Spanish. So I think it's awesome that I am now no longer limited by language, and we're living in Mexico. So if somebody asks me for my number to send me text messages or call me now, my lack of understanding is not going to inhibit me from communicating with them effectively.
If she starts sending me text messages in Spanish, we got a problem.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Not self-promotion. I can't talk either.
Yeah, you understand.
And I'm drinking water. Laura Bronner channel did a great job while she was living here. Okay. All right. Check it out. I will check that out. Um, I'll have to make a mark on that. Can I? Can I do? Ooh, I'm going to try a special feature here. What happens when I do this?
I don't know.
Pinned.
Oh,
All right. Well, I guess it's pinning it. I don't know if I need it pinned.
No.
I'll come back. Wilfredo, you do not want to immigrate to DSLR.
I would in a heartbeat.
We used to have.
Oh, my setup before is I had two Sony A77 bodies. I had 7 or 8 lenses for it, and so no, I'm very familiar. I mean, obviously, with the DSLR. Would I go back to a DSLR? No. Would I go to the mirrorless system? Yes.
Well, that's what your Sonys were, right?
No, mine were DSLRs because they were still in the digital SLR body style. I would go to the smaller mirrorless system because they take up less space. The sensor size is exactly the same, and the only thing you're getting rid of is that mirror in there, and so it's a lot less cumbersome. It's smaller, and it is the wave of the future. I mean, most of the pros
shoot mirrorless. I thought
no,
it was.
it's a point and shoot. It's two totally different subjects there.
Okay, sorry.
Interchangeable lenses versus non-interchangeable lenses.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's just right now. We actually toyed with the idea. Do we want to bring all that down here and everything else? And it was just like, no, we didn't want to carry it around. It's too bulky, and we didn't have the space. And once we settle down, then we'll see where the current status of the industry is as far as what the latest and greatest is, and get back into it. Because I enjoy shooting and everything else, but we just don't have the space for anything like that.
And it's true. And we did get one of the more popular vlogging cameras.
That was a disappointment.
It was a big disappointment. And we know that Mark and Paulette use it for their channel, and they don't seem to have half the problems we have. I don't know.
I don't know if we got a lemon. I
don't know what the deal is, but that camera gets too hot. It turns off. If the video is too long, it cuts it into 20-minute segments, and then I have to stitch it together. And then the sound is not in sync, and it's a lot of work. I'm not impressed with it. If the light isn't high enough, low light doesn't look good. My cell phone does a better job.
And to be honest, it's really disappointing because when I was in film, I shot all Canon, and when I went digital, I made the switch from Canon to Sony, and loved the Sony. And Sony, and for everybody out there, there's only 2 companies in the world that make the digital sensors. That go in everything from the cell phones up to the cameras, and they are Sony and Canon. They make the sensors, and I love Sony's sensors, and they normally perform very well. And this camera, it's not the quality of the image; it's about the time and the overheating and things like that.
Yeah.
So, would I hesitate to go back to the Sony A series or the E series, excuse me, in their mirrorless? No, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Just
cool. And hey, you're welcome, Suzanne. Hope that helps with the tip. Sounds like it did. Boom.
A tip for the tip.
Tip for the tip. And okay, come roll. There is a new phone. It's called Xiaomi 13 Ultra. I think I heard. It's got a big ass lens. Looks like a regular camera from the back. Oh, right. Now I got to look it up. So there's another one I need to pin. Thank you for that. I'd be interested in seeing. We've been using Samsung for so long. It's almost like I don't want to try anyone else, but
Well,
we'll see.
Again, it's the same thing. If we'd learned Apple before we got into doing Android, we probably would still be on Apple because, it reached the point where familiarity is the key, and we're too damn old and stubborn to go, no, we're not changing.
Oh, hey, okay. Claudia Thomas equals Claudia Silva. Gracias, Wilfredo. And Not one of those cinematic high muckety mucks of YouTube camera snobbery. Tried a bigger Sony for a year. I'll stick with my GoPro and my iPhone Pro. That's what's working for us.
And quite honestly, Paul, to be honest, well, that's sort of stupid. To be honestly, whatever. I'm just being redundant. The quality of the images that you're putting up are perfectly cinematic, and they're great.
Yeah.
And it's sort of overkill sometimes, because if you make the files too big, then it takes that much longer for them to upload. So you sort of have to go, but I can be sort of a camera snob just because
you're a camera snob. What do you think of this one? Canon EOS R100 2 lens mirrorless.
It's not a bad system. It's Canon. And Canon makes a great product. They really do.
And they're one of the sensor makers.
They're one of the sensor makers.
Which is always a plus.
It's a little bit the thing with the R series and Canon. And remember, I've been out of it now for 7 years. But the look of it gives me, it's closer to a DSLR body, whereas the Sony, I'm not sure what series they're on now. I think like 7,000, 7,500 is a little bit smaller of a body. So the footprint of it is smaller, but you're not going to go wrong either way.
I'm looking up the Xiaomi. I'm curious now. I swear I thought I saw this.
But I mean, it really goes. I mean, if we're going to talk about photography, I'm going to jump on my soapbox just for a second here.
Okay.
We all have these devices, phones, to take all these pictures and everything else. And the biggest fear is in all my years of being in the industry, the most heartfelt pleas that I have ever dealt with were people wanting to save their pictures due to a fire, due to a flood, due to some type of catastrophe, because those pictures tell us who we are and where we come from. And the issue that is occurring now is everybody's got them and they're all stored on the phone or they're stored on the computer. And 100 years from now, people are not going to have the pictures, and that's not going to be the case. And so what I advocate is people printing. Okay, it's a phone.
Oh, I know. I was just going to show it.
It's got a Leica lens on it.
Do your talk.
And so print some pictures. If it's nothing more than making a photo book once a year and putting your favorite 30 to 40 pictures in there, that photo book can be found by somebody sitting on a bookcase, and they're able to look back at it and go, oh, this is, and when you make the book, put the information in there that this is Uncle Henry. This is so-and-so.
Yeah.
This is what date. This was, 2022. We were at, Playa del Carmen. All this information, because we're not going to be around to ask all that, or we may not remember anymore. And so that information, when it is found 100 years from now, somebody can go, oh, this is so-and-so. This was taken here. And it gives us a sense of where we came from. And, David Valley's got his new son. And what I would advocate, in David's situation, I told this to all new parents, once a year, print a book of the pictures from that year of that child. And it's $20, $30 to print a book. And it gives them the ability, when they are grandparents, to go back and show, their grandchildren, oh, this was grandpa. This is what it was like. And this is what it was like when I was growing up. And that's this generation is growing up now, that everything is on a phone and everything's on a computer. Those pictures, if they're not printed, are going to be lost.
And okay, so David, now that you've been traveling about a while, have you guys discovered any new favorite foods in Mexico? Why, yes. Why, yes. I'm so glad you asked.
No, it's still Cochinita Pibil.
Well, cochinita pibil
Well,
is good.
Favorite food. I mean, it was Cochinita
Mm.
Pibil before we moved here, and it's still Cochinita Pibil for me.
Sopa de Lima,
No, yeah.
really good. Something I would order at this one restaurant multiple times. And I typically don't do that. I typically try to try a little bit of everything. I kept ordering the Sopa de Lima. That's one. And then another one that I really liked was Pak Chuk. Very good. And of course, the Cochinita Pibil. So far, the winning ones have been the Yucatan dishes. Now, I will say chili en nogada, chilis en nogada, which I know is typically seasonal, but in Querétaro, you can get it all year round. I like that.
Yeah, 1810.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think those are my favorite right now. Mole grew on me. So I do like the dark chocolatey mole.
Well, and you'll have a better chance of getting all that when you get to the Oaxaca City. So,
and of course, love divorced enchiladas. So, but those would be my favorites.
I'm glad you said enchiladas.
Yeah.
Well, I was getting nervous there. You love divorced enchiladas. I was like, okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, we all good, honey.
Yeah.
And DJI Mini 4 Pro is doing pretty good too. Mini 4 Pro, that is a drone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because I have the DJI gimbal too, and which I can't really use. My issues with DJI is it's not even DJI's fault, really. It's Samsung's fault. I got this gimbal, and DJI has all these really cool options you can use in the native application. Problem is, my Samsung phones have never worked with the native application.
Nope.
So it pretty much made the gimbal almost useless.
I made a fancy.
It's basically a fancy selfie stick that I can hang in different ways, and that's about it.
Maybe the new phone may rectify that. I'm not going to hold on.
No, I doubt it, because they didn't work with phones that were 2 or 3 years old yet. So
I'm saying that new technology maybe.
I mean, and it's not even DJI. A lot of the gimbals don't work with the Samsung phones. The problem is Samsung. They keep all their information clandestine. So
yes, but they did a lot more collaboration on this with Google. So maybe
you never know. But I do love our drone. I think our drone, we have a Air 2S, I think it is. It does a wonderful job. So I think the DJI drones are pretty impressive overall.
Yeah, we're going to have a little problem flying that in Tulum because there's a lot of competition for airspace with drones because the government just announced that they were flying drones to hunt down cars used in unlawful acts in the Tulum area. So,
well, and then there's the airport too. So we'll be in a fly zone. I'm not even getting the drone out right now because even in Playa Car, we're going to be in some fly zone probably because Cancun.
Well, yeah, because there's an airport right
so
outside the gate.
But in general, I think they make fantastic drones, and they do a really good job with the images, even the photography. Its video is really good. And let's see. When I lived in Cancun, Playa del Carmen, my favorite was Sopa de Lima. And of course, the Cochinita Pibil prepared banana leaves. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's to me, and the best we've still had to this day has been at the roadside stand outside of Chichen Itza. That has been the primo Cochinita Pibil.
It really has been. It was very good. Prepared in banana leaves. I knew what you meant, David. We loved Cochinita Pibil so much that our last Christmas in the United States, we actually went out and got the ingredients to make it ourselves. And I had I think it's pronounced achiote, and I ground all that up with the specifically the right type of cinnamon and just everything. I made the spice, the paste. We got the pork, and we found banana leaves, which were not easy to find in North Carolina.
No, we had to actually find a tienda A Mexican tienda.
Yes, we found them. And when I went to pay for them, she immediately asked me if I was making tamales. And no, I said, Cochinita Pibil. And she went, ooh. So, yes, and I did make it, and it came out really good, except that, we couldn't bury it and cook it the way
No,
we're
we
supposed
tried
to.
I mean, because it was winter, it was in the mountains of North Carolina, and we had a fire going, and I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll just bury it in the ashes in there. And it ended up going in the oven. It came out great. Not quite,
Yeah.
but.
Adios, Jenny.
Adios, Jenny.
Nos vemos pronto. Okay. Let's see. We cannot get the Xiaomi phones in the U.S. outlawed here. Are they? Ooh, now
Yeah,
I really got to look that up.
It's that Chinese technology that,
Well, I saw if this is real and not just a hopeful wish, it looked like it had an entire removable lens.
Well,
that could be attached to it.
It's basically got a Leica lens on the back of it. I saw.
Did you see this?
Yeah. Yep.
So what does that even mean? Anyway,
I don't know. I'm not.
I mean, yeah, it looked
I'd
like
have to study it.
It had a removable lens. Boy, that'd be really cool. Probably could get it in Mexico though.
Yeah.
For a lot of money.
If you want one.
Yeah. Well, Alma. Hola, Alma. I have been making a photo books every year for a while back, and I actually make some for my grandson. Yeah. Yeah. His mom does it a lot.
It is a way of preserving life, and it's in the one thing that she's big into the genealogy, and when she finds new pictures, you ought to see her. She's like, oh,
I know.
Yeah. Ooh, I found a picture of so and so. So what that tells us is how important pictures are in relating to where we came from. And so without having the pictures, that's not going to happen.
When you're doing family trees and history and just, it's one thing to have a blank head with no image on this family tree. But when you can put the photograph of the person, it's almost like it brings the tree to life. And, it's awesome.
And to be fair, right now with the technology, and this is one of the situations where AI has actually been phenomenal, is that you can take a picture that is 80% faded out. And I could do it because I knew what to do, but most people wouldn't be able to figure this out. But you could take one of those old sepia photos, you turn it into black and white, you pump the contrast into it, you drop down the exposure level on it, and suddenly you go, holy shit, there's people there. And it would happen. But with AI now, it's nothing more than clicking a button and it goes boop. Yeah. And you're going, that's what that is?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. But if you don't have the picture to start with.
I mean, here's a really cool example story briefly. My grandmother, my mom's mom, had a set of twins when she was a very young woman, and she gave them up for adoption. And one of those twins, 60 years later, did a DNA test and found me. And so got connected with the family and started sharing photos. And it was amazing that the male twin looked like my mom's brother, like the brother we knew. So my uncle. So then, and his son also looked like my uncle, and his daughter looks like my cousin. I mean,
at least she doesn't look like his uncle.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. It's amazing to be able to tie it all together and look at these people and go, oh my gosh, look how much grandma looks like this person, or look how much my daughter looks like this person. It's pretty fascinating. And I treasure photos. I treasure photos. So
I rest my case.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, one of my favorite things to do is there's a guy in Merida who does Merida history. And he shares photos all the time of Merida. It doesn't even matter if I know the history. I love seeing his photos. He shares all kinds of stuff. He's got a Facebook page. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it's like Merida history something. So it's really fascinating. Tom, I skied this morning, so I am now allowed to get drink a lot. When I left Merida last time, I think I want to try La Paz Cabo. I think I could actually even drive my car. As a permanent resident, wait. La Paz and Cabo, you still can't? Are you sure?
I don't think so, because I think as a permanent resident, you are not allowed to bring a car in. I'd have to check on that. I know that
I think Baja is special.
it is, as far as
If it was a trip,
yeah, that might be, but
I don't know.
I think there'd be a ticking clock on it or something. But yeah,
I don't know.
that would have to require some investigation.
Have to investigate on that.
Mhm.
It said, well, we know that BCS has unique rules. And
yeah,
like,
it's sort of like similar to being
like you don't
the
even
25 miles within the border area where
yeah, like you don't even need a tip
nope.
as a temporary resident at all in BCS. So you don't need a tip in Quintana Roo either. But
you got to drive your car here.
Yeah,
you got to go through all those states that do.
Don't know how you're going to do it without having one. And Papa, I got a plane ticket to the new Tulum airport at the end of April. Woo! I haven't decided yet on the resorts I'll do. Maybe Grand Palladium and a few RIUs.
I gotta say, we did stay at Core in Tulum, and that was a very good.
It was enjoyable.
Intimate.
Small.
I mean,
very small.
That's what I mean by intimate. I think it has 62, 64 rooms total. And the food, until we got to Excellence, I would have said the Core had the best resort food we had until we got to Excellence. I mean, their food was very good.
It's true.
And the crepes that Carolina makes in the center of the resort at night, there's a line for those crepes. So
yeah, it was a nice place. Trying to think. Okay, so end of April. I have some friends that are now looking for airline tickets because of the festival that we're going to at the beginning of April. Come to find out that the Tulum airport prices at that particular time are actually less expensive than Cancun right now.
Yes.
Had some friends that could actually fly first class for $500 less
than flying into Cancun in the back of the.
No, first class versus first class. It was $500 less to fly into Tulum first class. I'm not saying that they wanted to, but the point is when you consider just standard airfare into Cancun and compared it to first class at Tulum, it was probably within like a $50 difference for them. So
yeah,
that's why they were looking into doing it. I've had a few close relatives with severe dementia and giving them a photo of family with names and relationship underneath. That really helps them when you phone them. That's very good.
And another tip on that is also the digital photo frames, scanning the old pictures and putting the names on there is also a wonderful thing because it keeps it rotates through, and you put a lot of the old because the old's important, but you also can sprinkle in some of the new and the current ones so that they know who, and they see it often enough and the name on there with it as well. And it's so easy to do on a digital file nowadays, just to superimpose, fill, and boom.
I have to share that my grandma's youngest and only surviving sibling, call her Aunt Omi, she has dementia. And it's worse now, but at the time we went to go visit her, which just a few years ago, it was a kind of a moment of desperation because she had a bunch of old photographs of that side of the family that I knew nothing about. That side of the family. I grew up in Pennsylvania. These people were all from Oklahoma, Missouri, people I didn't know. And I go out to her house and sat with her and her daughter all day long and scanned photographs. Now, she had to ask me throughout the day multiple times who I was. And I would tell her, and she'd remember my mom, I think, briefly. But, she knew every person in those photos. She knew when it was took. She knew where, when, who, how they were related. She knew everything in those photos, and that was invaluable because I was able to then scan them all, upload them all into the family tree, and now I have that history preserved. So the dementia thing, they recognize, at least for a while, they will recognize those people, and they remember those stories, even if they can't retain things right now. Do you recommend a certain company to do the photo books? No, not really. I would say go with your best price that gets the highest ratings. I always look at the reviews. And again, we look at the most recent reviews and we look for the highest reviews at a good price. And we've used multiple companies in the past.
And I mean, the thing is right now there's so few of them left because of the downsizing of the industry that it's sort of hard to go. Yeah, I mean, it used to be there were some companies that you would go. I mean, Ritz, when they first introduced their photo books inside the store, it was a nightmare. I mean, they were horrible, but nowadays they've got it down to the point where there are so many places that can do these books. And some of the places are not even in your traditional photo stream. Office Depot, Staples, they started offering that because the Xeroxes that they have are capable of producing these types of products, and then it's just a matter of binding them. So, whether you do it through CVS, M Books, Office Max, Staples, there's so many spots. Cardinal Cameras, another one you can do it online with. Find who's giving you a good price with a good turnaround and
a good rating.
And a good rating. And I think the biggest thing there probably is paying attention to the customer service. That's, to me, the biggest difference between them.
Yup. So this is about BCS. So Wilfreda says it may be the only place in all of Mexico where a permanent resident can bring in a car without a tip. I kind of thought so. And Anna also says that she also thinks permanent resident can drive their car there because it's the free zone. And Miguel. Thank you, Miguel. You would know because you live there. You can legally drive your U.S. or Canadian plated vehicle throughout the entire Baja Peninsula without a tip.
There you go.
Thought so.
Yeah. So ask the people who know.
Who actually know.
Don't ask us anything.
Speaking of people who actually know. Okay. If you are a temporary resident and own property in Mexico, will you have to file tax in Mexico? We don't know. We wouldn't begin to claim we have that knowledge for a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't own property and we don't know anyone outright. Well, we know some people who have property, but we don't know what their tax filing situation is. Now, I get to put this down. I would definitely.
Well, we do actually know somebody who is in that boat.
Yeah, but this will be the first year.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So we don't really know.
So we don't really know. I would recommend checking out Retired Life in Mexico, No Bull, and do a search to see if he's got something in there about taxes, property, things like that. I'm sure he's got a video on this.
And there's also the Mexico Relocation Guide because
Guide.
People there, if you subscribe to the Mexico Relocation Guide, which we highly recommend that you do,
right here.
There's lots of resources in there that can help you with everything, from legal to tax and everything else. And that's all somebody I would rather ask than us.
Definitely.
We can point you in directions of people who supposedly should know.
Right.
But those two people who know ain't sitting here.
Yeah, we're not financial advisors or tax experts at all. I'm actually still kind of excited about the prospect of doing my first full taxes for the United States, utilizing the foreign earned income exclusion deduction. And I don't know the outcome of that yet. I'm sure that it's going to take at least the full 3 weeks for the U.S. government to let me know. All I know right now is that they have received and acknowledged receipt of my tax filing, but they have yet to accept it. And I'm sure that they're looking at it going, whoa, this is a big change. This is new, and we need to take a closer look at this. So it's probably going to take them their full 3 weeks to review and either approve or disapprove.
I mean, they're like, the IRS is no different than that person when you get off a plane here in Mexico and you fly back from the United States that's just going ka-chunk, ka-chunk, stamping your passport, and putting in the number of days because it's what they do, and they get constant, they accept. And so, you as a temporary resident, here, you're a visitor. No, throwing them that curveball, it's out of their norm, and it's going to take them a little bit of time to suddenly go, hold on.
Yeah, that it's definitely significantly different. We're telling them that we don't even live in the country anymore. So now they're looking at this going, what?
For 40 years, you've been filing these taxes this way. Yeah. What the hell's going on here?
So I anticipate that that's going to take a while.
Yeah. And once we get the anticipated approval and everything, then we'll do a video. But until then.
And then that brought to my mind, do we need to look into, there's a form that you need to fill out when you live in a foreign country for Social Security. Because if you don't file this, they basically need to verify that you're still alive.
Yes.
That's what it's for. Are you still alive? And so you're filing this and you're letting them know that, yes, you are still alive. And so you will continue to get your benefits. But if you don't do this form, your benefits could get cut off and they could take a month or two to get them back. Well, what I verified today is Mark does not have to worry about that because we use a U.S. address. So, we're domiciled in South Dakota. We're using that address. Therefore,
everything as far as they're concerned, it's a U.S. bank. We have a U.S. address and everything else. So.
And if they ever were to bring it in question, they will send a letter to that address.
South Dakota.
And then we'll see the letter and he'll have to follow through. That hasn't happened yet, but it was a good thing to look into.
Yes.
For sure. Oh, and Tom, let's see. According to a lot of the YouTube videos, the place for people with aging issues to go to is Ajijic. You can probably retire there with better health care and half the price. I would agree with that statement. I know that Dave is on here and Dave is in Lake Chapala area as well. And he has the health plan there's a company. I want to say when I looked up the company, he gave me the name and I can't think of it right now, but I'm sure he'll pipe up. The company was a group of doctors at this one practice. And they basically started their own insurance plan. And the insurance plan actually will work in multiple locations in Mexico now. But of course, the predominant location is Lake Chapala. And it works like a PPO or an HMO type thing. There is a rate that you pay. There is a standard type of deductible that you meet. There is, I think, a copay maybe, but it covers really, really well. Yeah. And a lot of people use it in that area.
And eventually we'll be in that area to be able to tell more, and that could be something that we ask because we do have a collaborative coming up sometime in the next few months with KJ and Casey.
I know. Remarkable.
Well, if you remember,
I'm trying to remember this Remarkable Life.
Remarkable, something.
I'm so sorry. My brain is full right now, and I have to knock things out to make room for others.
Yeah, but
Remarkable Life.
I think it is a Remarkable Life. But they retired to Ajijic.
Yeah, they did. And we're going to be doing a collab with them in Tulum. I have to answer an email.
Yeah, because they like traveling, and they were like, we'd love to do a collab if you guys are interested. And we were like, oh, absolutely. And we gave them a list of where we were going to be and when, and they were like, oh, we haven't been to Tulum. We'd love to come there. So that was like, yeah, that'll work. So that'll be a good question to ask them.
Oh yeah, host relocation. Wilfredo just reminded me the host relocation is going to have a live stream. And it's on immigration, real estate, and more.
That is true.
So they're going to be having.
I wasn't going to say that out loud, though.
Well, this is a message I just received from Wilfredo.
Just saying.
So, but that would be something you might want to check out.
I don't know if they're still in the guide or not. So,
anyway,
yeah.
I just got a message from someone who says that Host Relocation is going to be doing a live stream. So, okay. And I wish I could remember the name of the healthcare, but I do know that Brighton did a video. He interviewed someone at that office.
Yes, he did.
And they discussed almost retired in Mexico is the name of the channel. So that will help if you're interested in that. And we visited Ajijic twice. Very nice, but rough roads, bad sidewalks, and traffic on the one main road make it probably not.
I think it's supposed to be us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're trying, honestly, Papa, not to prejudge.
We're trying hard.
We're trying hard because we hear so many people who are totally in love with living in the Ajijic area.
Yep.
And so we're like, okay, there's good things there and da. The downside is it's sort of, we want more of the Mexican feel in that area, especially the Ajijic part of it, gives us the vibe. And again, we're not there. So we're trying to keep from prejudging, but we get the feeling of, you really don't need to even learn Spanish and this and that. And it's like,
weather and natural beauty are top notch.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It looks like a stunning place.
We did cut down our stay.
We were actually going to stay there way too long, and we needed to make room in other places. So we did cut our stay down. I think it's down to 2 months. We were going
to do 5 months. We were going to do, and the other part that we forgot to do, we made this determination that we want to do, but then we forgot to do it as far as the schedule was. We wanted to cut the tour short from 48 months to 46 months because we want to give ourselves time at the end of the tour to get back to the city that we chose. And we're like, and
get a
go,
lease
and then we need time there to be able to go, okay, we got to find a place to live and rent a house for a year because we want to rent before we buy, because then once we're there, okay, what neighborhood do we want to be in, and da. And so we didn't do that. So when we started to go, all right, now we want to do a 6-month break in Querétaro. Now we need 2 more months to get back to the city that we're going to go to. We got to find 8 months somewhere.
Yeah.
Not sure where we're going to find 8 months. So, but we managed to do it, actually. We think.
I don't know. It's been a whirlwind, sitting down and having to recalculate everything.
I mean, and to be perfectly honest here.
Oh gosh, we're being honest again.
Well, we always are. It's a way of it's a saying that I do so I can gather my thoughts before I spew them out, so I don't totally sound like an idiot, which I am prone to do it all by myself. The whole Campeche fiasco with the Airbnb really threw a monkey wrench into the mental status for both of us. We sort of got here and became vegetables. I mean, we just, thank God this place was here because it gave us a place to come and land. But Playa Car and PDC were never on our list. We intentionally, when we were sitting on the couch in Fletcher, North Carolina, one of the first things we did, we looked at each other and said, we don't want to live in the Riviera Maya.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so we never looked at the Riviera Maya. You know, the
Nope.
closest we were going to come was Valladolid, and that was only because we wanted to have an opportunity to go see the ruins again and Alhambro's restaurant and you know, things like that. And here we are finding ourselves spending 14 weeks in Riviera Maya.
It wasn't in the plans.
It wasn't in the plans, you know.
No.
But when we got here, it literally was sort of a, okay, boom, you know, don't want to be here. And that's not the right term. We didn't anticipate being here.
We made no plans to do anything
Right.
in this area. There was
Right.
no pre-thought. There was nothing. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. There is one place I really kind of wanted to go, and when I found out how much it would cost to go there, I was
Her
like, no.
desire suddenly went
No.
out the window.
No, there's a big park here with multiple different parks associated with it. It's called Xcaret. When I started looking at the prices for these various parks,
Might be going
I
to
was like,
Disney World.
they are out of their ever loving mind. We're not going. So
Now, some of the things we have found here in PDC, because we haven't really done the typical day excursions that we do. You know, we did go to the mall now twice. And the only thing we ever really got accomplished at the mall was paying too much for donuts and getting a good haircut. I'm just telling it like it is.
Oh Lord.
But we did go to the Soriana here that is not far from Playa Car. And we've been in Sorianas before. We've been in Veracruz and let's see, we went to the one in Progreso, San Miguel, because that was a place that we could get the ciders. They had the ciders up there at the Soriana.
Yep.
So we've been in Sorianas before, not like this one.
This one's the high end.
This one is sort of like stepping into.
Oh, look, they had Wensleydale cheese made with raspberries and Prosecco.
I knew we were spending money as soon as she saw Wensleydale.
I saw
was like,
Wensleydale. I'm like, yeah.
I'm reaching in my pocket right now because I'm like, yeah, this is going to cost some money because she's got Wensleydale.
Got me some Wensleydale.
But it felt a lot more like walking into a city market than it did walking into a Soriana, a typical Soriana.
It did.
And the difference really what I was going to point out was that we have the Chedraui, which is right down the road and about equidistance between the two. And the Chedraui is always packed. I mean, finding a parking spot in that place, you know, got all these cars doing, you can hear it playing is do, 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 do.
Yeah.
Because there's, you know, up and down the aisles looking for a place to park. Not at the Soriana there. We found a spot, boom. So yeah. Interesting way of looking at it. And I think that one of the things is they have done it down here because I saw the Chedraui in Puerto Aventuras is very similar to the Soriana here. It's gringoized.
It is.
That's the only word I can come up with to describe what's happened. Is it's very,
very much. Tom, which Tears for Fears are you playing? Which one? My favorite one was not even one of their popular songs. It's called The Way You Are. I used to walk every day to The Way You Are. And when I went to go see Tears for Fears and I bought a front row center ticket to see them, I was going to make this big banner telling them that I had lost 50 pounds walking to The Way You Are. And then I realized that that's not one of the songs that they're likely going to play. So I didn't make the banner and they didn't play it. But yeah, I like a lot of Tears for Fears songs.
And another good song to walk to is In Excess.
Yeah, but that's not Tears for Fears. But that's not Tears for Fears.
I know. I understand that. I'm just saying, but it has a great beat to walk to.
I love Costco in Cancun. We didn't go to that one yet.
We've never spent time in Cancun.
We didn't go to Cancun, but we do. I mean, we like the Costco in Merida.
Yeah, I mean,
it was always busy too. Always, 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 always. Pale Shelter. Yes. Good song.
Well, if you're under the shelter, you're going to be pale. You're not going to get any sun.
You give me pale shelter.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
The Chedraui and Puerto Venturas is indeed gringoized. You know what? I think they all are along Riviera Maya, in my opinion. But
that Chedraui here is the one here that we've been going to. That's not too gringoized. That's pretty much like the Chedraui we've seen all over the country.
it's just always busy.
It's just always busy.
Always busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really not any different than any of the other Chedrauis. So, I mean,
everything about Playa Car is gringoized, though.
I think the most gringoized Chedraui we've seen has been the one that was in Paseo de Querétaro, because they were the ones that were selling Mountain Dew in Snyder's Hanover.
That's true.
And I was loving going there because I was like, oh, hell yes.
I can go outside and take a walk here in Playa Car, and I would say 75% of the people I see are likely to be European, or
I was just to say, you can hear a lot of languages.
it's a lot of languages. I've heard French, which could be Canadian. I really didn't pay attention to the dialects, so it's hard for me to know off the top of my head. But chances are they were probably Canadian. I have heard Russian,
German. Of course, it could also be Polish. It's sometimes hard to tell the difference.
But definitely a lot of different languages. English is not always what I hear English the least amount. I mean, I hear it, but it's the least amount. And I don't know. There's a lot of things about Playa Car that just don't hit me right.
It's Mexico snob.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know how else better to describe it than you got to go through Checkpoint Charlie, where they're going to check the trunk and everything else to get in. It's. I mean, I don't know if they let Tommy in.
Oh no, they may not let you in, Tom. In PDC, the Walmart across the highway is where a lot of locals go.
Yes, on the Colonia side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we went to the one,
the Walmart with the escalators in the underground garage that had no parking because it was packed.
And then even though we were parked up above, had to go back down to get a buggy to bring it back
and
up.
we had been in that one before when we did vacations previous years, and that was one of the places where people would follow us around in the store when they would see a bracelet.
I will say.
And try to sell us a timeshare or a vacation package or a discount on something.
I did not see that this time.
Has not happened this time. But it did happen. We were on vacation.
Mm-hmm. But I did not see that. I mean, we were in there shopping. But
people would follow us around the store and just struck up conversations. I mean, I actually thought this one guy was like a store manager. And maybe he was just making sure that we were happy with the store or something. And then we get close to getting in line to pay, and now he breaks it on us that are we interested in going to this place or this place?
He was selling tickets for East Corrette.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
no. You still love you both just like siblings, but that's what makes life great.
It happens. Just like Forrest Gump. It happens.
Oh, that's what he says. I guess
that's where the T-shirt came from.
Well, I mean, I got my sister from another mister, and we fight all the freaking time. It's what happens. It's what happens.
2 months from now, you'll be seeing your sister from another mister.
Just think about this, Tom. I had blood family that I absolutely refused to talk to. It's absolutely true.
And some of them didn't want to talk to you. I mean, it was.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just sort of.
Again, it happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
Wait. All right. Hey, we're at the end of our questions. You guys got anything else you want to ask? We don't really. Let me see. I've been dragging my butt really trying to work on these videos. My heart hasn't been into it.
Again, that's back to the vegetative state.
Yeah.
Ever since that thing happened in Campeche,
It took the wind out of our sails.
It sort of was like, oh.
Yeah. So, you know, and then job interviews and trying to make the time. I said this before. One of the reasons that I was doing so poorly in learning Spanish is that if I were to make the time that I needed to make, something else has to give. Well, that's where we are. I'm trying to seriously learn Spanish now, and there's only so much I can do. I can't sit in front of the computer all day long, you know. So I've been trying really hard to work on videos that are easy to work on, but I think I'm a perfectionist, and if I can't do my best effort, I don't even want to do it. And that's a OCD type flaw thing for perfectionist people. Perfectionist people start projects and never finish them, usually because they're not up to snuff in their opinion, or if they can't do it the way they envision they want it done, then they don't even want to start. And I'm not saying I'm right there. I have things I want to do, but it's one of those, like, I've got this great video I want to do on Ginger's Jungle Rescue, and I have everything I need, but I've got to try to figure out how to pull it all together to make a good, concise, positive video. And then there's the whole Campeche thing.
Well, and you are the type that you have to have the energy to get it. And once you get it going, you're going.
I do.
And right now, the impetus to get over, to turn the rock over once isn't there. And once the rock gets turned over once, then it'll start rolling and she'll be like, okay. But, you know, and it's been, she's going to be the one that also has to make sure that it is the way she pictures it, because she always has it in her brain before she even starts the project. She's like, here's the finished product.
I wanted to do this. I want this to come in.
If she hadn't had that energy to get that thing going, to finish it, why even start it? And that's, you know, could let me, you could let me do it. You really wouldn't want to see it.
Well, it's, you know, like I spend, Gus, I've got this idea of a song, a style of music that I want to play in a video. And I will go through no less than 6 different music sites trying to find that style of music exactly as I'm hearing it. And I'm doing this video for what?
I laugh because this one or this one? This one, and I'd have already picked one and been let's go. But no, it's got to be exactly right.
I had a song in my head. I knew what I wanted it to sound like, and then I recalled what it was. I literally wanted this song by Preservation Hall Jazz Band, or something similar to it. I knew exactly what it sounded like. It had a tuba. It had really strong horns coming in. A nice shuffle drum rhythm. I mean, and I knew exactly that's what I want, but I couldn't find it. And then I remembered, where did I hear this sound before? Oh, it was Pres Hall. Well, I can't use that.
No.
And so I'm like that. I have something in mind. It's got to be just like that or very closely similar to that. And I'll spend hours looking for it just so I get what I'm looking for, that vibe. Skylink, no more. What is Skylink?
The internet.
Starlink. Starlink.
We don't really need Starlink here, Wilfredo, because the internet here is very, very good. You know, to think of Garrett Morris, you know, baseball being very, very good to me. Yeah, we didn't change anything other than the only thing we changed was the streaming service for this. We went from YardStream to Restream.
StreamYard.
Or StreamYard, whatever. To Restream, and boom. we did tests and it didn't seem to be doing the freeze, and the freeze was only coming from StreamYard. And
they wanted me to have a conversation with the ISP here in Mexico.
Why? It's
So
not.
I was able to prove this works with Restream, and that's what their support suggested. And so I canceled it. And 5 minutes later, I get an email asking me, well, what happened? Why did you cancel? And I'm like, well, here's why. Because I'm having issues. I proved over and over and over in all these test videos that are still on my account that the issue was every single time, every time. Now, I said, I agree. It didn't start until we came here.
But it's not the internet.
But it's not the internet. Whatever protocols they use are not working with this ISP. Fine. But it's not up to me to call the ISP and say, what are you doing wrong? This isn't working with your service.
Oh.
And I basically said, and you're asking people who may not be technically savvy enough to have this conversation with another technical company, and yet they don't know what to ask or what to say to them, and you're not providing any guidance in that respect. No. And I said, and I'm in Mexico. I can't even have that conversation in English right now, let alone Spanish. But I can go over here to Restream, and I can test over here, and I don't have a problem with them, and it costs less money.
And we got that fantastic countdown at the very beginning that comes free of charge. But they do have some niceties that were sort of like, wow, okay, this is pretty cool, that weren't available at StreamYard. But if things go according to plan, according to the owner of the building, and she'll be back this weekend, we may be able to do this from the roof. Potentially in 2 weeks, because they are actually installing a modem up on the roof.
Yeah.
And so that would be a nice change of venue. So you guys, the kitchen's nice and everything else, but we'll give you a little bit of a different view of Playa Car.
Something different. Hey, Alfredo.
Oh, Alfredo.
Just got on, guys. Well, you don't have to apologize. I mean, if you really want it, you can always go back and watch it. It's fine. We like having you here, though. Thank you for coming. Miguel, trust us. It may be paradise. Boy, oh boy, it isn't always living in Mexico. It's worth it.
100%.
It's everywhere in the world has good days and bad days. But I got to say, overall.
No, I mean.
It's been good here.
I went up tonight because want to do a steak, and we don't have ovens here in this particular kitchen. We do have a stovetop. We don't have an oven, but they do have a fantastic grill up on the roof. And so I was like, you know what? We bought us a steak. We put some olive oil, some seasoning on it, let it sit in the fridge for a couple of days, took it up there. And in this particular building, there's 4 units, and we got one, and there's 2 Canadian couples in one, and then there's 2 Canadian couples in another, and then there's a young family in the other one. And I'm up there, and there's the Canadian couples are up there, one of the sets of couples, and they're sitting there going, they're speaking perfect English and this and that. And they're like, oh, how long y'all down here for? Lifetime. And he looked at me and went, huh? I went, yeah. We're here for a lifetime. Well, no, we live here. Oh, really? Why? I said, because everybody's mad at each other back home. And they went, well, that's true.
That's true.
I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. Everybody's pissed at everybody, and we're tired of having everybody be mad at everybody. And down here,
all the time for everything.
Yeah. We've got construction right behind that wall. They're working on a new building or remodeling a building, whatever. It's loud during the day. I mean, they're doing a lot of work.
There's this much space between the buildings.
10 centimeters. The bylaws of Playa Car is you cannot have the buildings go shotgun style. There has to be 10 centimeters between the buildings. But you can hear everything that's going on. But what's funny is I go out and have a cigar, and those guys are out there and they're busting their butt, but you hear laughter all day long. they're working their butts off, but they're having fun. And we were in the mall yesterday afternoon, and you hear it. They're laughing. They're over there playing the silly game of trying to catch the little stuffed animals.
Oh God!
And they are just
the claw games.
The claw games.
Claw
and
games.
they are just howling, laughing.
Why are the claw games so popular in Mexico?
I don't know, but the thing I love is the laughter.
Yeah.
It's and when we were in the mall, you see all the kids with the families walking along, and the girls wearing the cute little dresses, and the boys got the hats on with the ears and this, and they're just having fun, and the whole family is involved and engaged, and that part is a testament to where the country is going to continue to go, because they're growing up as a core family.
Yeah, family and community.
And
it makes a huge difference in the way people interact with each other. So I think.
Buenas noches, Winston. Good to see you in class today.
Hola, Linda. Thank you. Our videos are always awesome. Well, we appreciate that. We try. We try. Just sometimes I don't have the energy to try. But I'm getting there. And let's see. And buenas noches, Winston. Yes, I heard you in class today. ¿Qué tal?
Winston's in my class for expat Spanish.
Yep.
We're all learning together.
Yep.
So.
And he's got Amy. Amy is his instructor. I have Denise as my instructor. And Denise is one of those ones in Mexico that says the double L with a soft J sound. And sometimes it's really hard because I like I said, I want to say me llamo or galleta and galleta and me llamo it. And all I keep thinking of for some stupid reason is Pacino in Scarface. I don't know. I all my life I didn't realize that was a sound, that was a type of a sound and pronunciation in Mexico. I thought it was like other countries and like Puerto Rico and Cuba and things like that. I had no idea.
The different dialects of the same language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, here we go. Question. We love questions. Alfredo, what you got? We are heading to La Paz in March. Do you think exchanging some dollars to pesos in the U.S. or in Mexico, where would I get the better rate? Ooh. Well, we learned that even if you were to ask your bank to get you some pesos, they're going to charge you a purchasing fee.
And then they're going to charge you a buyback fee if you come back with them.
Yeah. I would say, Alfredo,
right.
Do you have a Wise card? If you have a Wise card,
well,
you could potentially transfer money to the Wise card and use the Wise card to make purchases. But if you need cash, you can't.
Or if you have something like Charles Schwab, you could actually just go to
an
ATM here and withdraw it, and you're going to get the current rate. There's no percentage coming off the top.
Charles Schwab, if you have a Charles Schwab account, that's one where they will not charge you international fees, and they will refund your ATM fees. If you have a Capital One card, you could do a cash withdrawal on that, but then that would be like a credit card, and they would probably charge you an international fee, I think. I don't know. I think it's better to have the pesos here, though, if that's the actual question. I think it's better to get the pesos. Shoot, let me think about that. When we used to bring pesos here, we actually would buy them from our bank before we knew better, before we realized how much money we were losing by doing it that way. But I don't know, maybe you should check with your bank and see what their fee would be. Hopefully they don't hide that information from you.
Okay. The current rate that we're seeing around here as we drive around in the last couple of days, has been anywhere from 15.5 to 16.1.
It's not good.
Has been what the money exchange has been. If what they're going to give them to you for is about 16 pesos to the dollar.
Yeah.
And I think the current rate is a little over 17. So they're taking a peso away on every dollar. And if you have especially if you're thinking of moving here, setting up a Schwab account is, I mean, we keep saying it's the best thing we ever did because of the fact that we don't pay any ATM fees. We get them all, we pay them, but at the end of once a month, we get the refund back from the previous month. And, that way.
And it earns interest.
It earns interest, but it's the quickest and easiest way of not having to be robbed. And that's not really the right word. Not paying a bad rate,
being taken
rate.
Advantage of with the exchange rate.
But for anybody who's coming down here and doesn't pay attention to the different banks and everything else, we have noticed lately that a couple times we have been to BBVA.
Oh yeah.
And their exchange rate is not good.
It's not good.
And you don't have an option. I mean, so
I don't know if it was always like that though.
No.
That seems like they changed that.
And so now I purposely avoid going.
But let's explain that. So the ATMs give you an option to accept their exchange rate, which we always say no.
That's conversion rate, right?
Conversion rate. So then it goes by what your bank is giving, which is almost always better.
The current rate.
But BBVA, I swear, I think they used to let you do that. Lately,
yes.
No, they took it away. And so now it goes straight to their rate and you're done. And it's not a good rate.
No, it's a peso and a half lower than the current rate. And there was twice that we were in positions where we just had to get some money and we couldn't find anything other than a BBVA and had to. And so it was like, the first time was, okay, boom, boom, boom. And it was like, hold on. And the second time we were in a place where that was the only option we had. And since then it's been not BBVA.
We will not use BBVA anymore.
Nope.
I swear they used to let us choose to decline their rate.
Yes. And we just did Banorte yesterday. Mm-hmm. And, they come up and they say, oh, do you want our conversion rate? No, just let my bank, let Schwab give me the conversion rate and boom.
Gracias, Alma. I am trying. I don't want to give up. I'm trying. I've got a phone that'll let me cheat now, though.
And see, that's not good.
No, I know, but I am trying. So thank you for the compliment. So back to the money stuff. So yes, what's it like has been using Schwab. Yep. We
swear by it. I mean.
Yep. And Alma heard some AAA will exchange dollars to pesos. I haven't heard that, but it wouldn't be surprising.
No, because it's what they're about is travel.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. Thank you for that suggestion.
If they're giving you within a half a peso of the exact exchange rate, I wouldn't hesitate to go, boom, do it. Because down here you're going to pay at least a peso. At least a peso. And
Anna, yes, you are correct. They will accept dollars in locations where they get a lot of U.S. travel. Like, for example, if we were to pay in U.S. dollars in, hold
on. Just yesterday, we were in Sally Beauty.
Yeah.
And yes, they would take U.S. dollars.
Yeah.
15 pesos to the dollar.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a good exchange rate. And yes, they will give you back pesos because they don't have U.S. dollars to give you change. So you're getting a bad rate. You're going to get money back in pesos. And the only places that are really going to be able to do it like that for you are going to be places that they anticipate having a lot of U.S. dollars in their currency. So Cozumel, Isla Mujeres, all along Riviera Maya, maybe someplace like San Miguel. I don't really know.
PV.
Yeah,
The West
places
Coast.
with a lot of travel from the U.S. are going to do that. But if you're someplace that doesn't have that, then they can't do exchanges for you.
I have learned in our 15 months, however long it's been now down here, that if they put up a sign going, "We accept U.S. dollars," it's because you're going to get got.
You're going to get got?
You're going to get got because they're going, "It's making us money. Give us the dollars." And that's just, I haven't seen a good exchange rate.
That's the way it always is.
I know.
I remember.
I know. But if they put the sign up saying, "Yes, we take dollars," then they're inviting you to pay because they know they're going to get the better end of the deal.
I mean, I remember all the exchange places on Clifton Hill in Niagara Falls, Canada, and the rates were pretty bad there too. So definitely remember that. What did I forget? Oh, I'll come back. Charles Schwab is the best I've heard of for fees and exchange rate. Yeah, we agree. Liliana, thank you for the comment. And I skipped Alfredo. Sorry, Alfredo. Staying in a month. All right, Recon.
Hit the ATMs there in the airport.
Well, yeah.
Hit the ATMs, not the money exchanges. Go to the Santander or the Banorte or Scotiabank or HSBC. Yeah. Any of the ATMs there, and you should be going to get the money back.
Sorry. Hey, look, we talked about you earlier, Sean. I don't know if you heard that.
Well, hey,
that we're actually going to make a purposeful trip to see San Pancho just so we can hang out with you. So,
well, you're going to get got.
Going to get got.
I mean,
oh, should we market that?
Yeah, it's too late.
And Winston, Tangerine Travels just put out a pretty good video explaining the different money exchange options. Schwab and Wise were the two best. Yeah, and I would agree. And I don't know that that was really such a big secret. I think most people who are living here from a foreign country, particularly U.S., are definitely using one, if not both of those options.
Or there's others than Schwab. I think Citibank does their version of it. I think there's 3 or 4 banks that are doing the same thing Schwab is, but it's not a great number of them. And we're just familiar with Schwab, and all we can say is it's been good for us on that. Wise. Now here's the biggest thing. And having a Wise debit card. There are going to be places in Mexico that will not accept a U.S. credit card. And having the Wise debit card.
No.
That won't work?
You're going down the wrong path.
Okay.
Nope. Well, if they don't take a U.S. credit card, they won't take a Wise card either. But the nice thing about Wise is that I have made huge dollar amount payments using the Wise app, literally by transferring funds from my Charles Schwab account straight into the Wise app, then doing the conversion, and then literally paying those people right from my Wise app. They ask for the clave. I'm not sure what that means exactly, but it's their bank information, and it will directly transfer the money straight to them. We have used them to buy his hearing aids. We have used it to, we've used it to send to our friends who will ship his cigars to him on his behalf. I used it for something else too. Oh, yeah. I used it for our facilitators' fees. Wise is amazing to do things like that because you can send money straight to people in Mexico, and you could pay your rents with it, all kinds of stuff.
It's an easy way of transferring money around.
I skipped a couple, and I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. Did I get, best I've heard. Okay, so here, I think Anna said Navy Fed, and they too waive exchange fees.
And first of all, thank you for the service. We appreciate that. My sister and brother-in-law, they've been called my guy with Navy Fed for, I can't even remember. Let's see, he graduated from the Naval Academy in 85. Yeah, because they got married in 85. So, yeah, they're coming up on 40 years with them.
And then we got, and that's bank fees.
Yep.
That's true. Yes. And so basically, so the extra nice thing about Charles Schwab would be that they are refunding the ATM fees. And not a lot of banks will do that. Bank fees is one thing, and a lot of banks will do that. Capital One credit card. I mean, it's like, yeah.
And it's also a VAT tax. I mean, that's the part that they're refunding back is the ATM fee. They go, there is a 16.75% VAT tax, and that's their bank fee. And I know they say it's a tax, but that's what we get back every month from Schwab.
The point being, Capital One doesn't charge the international transaction fees, but they would probably still charge you ATM fees.
Yes.
Charles Schwab is not charging you the international transaction fee, and they're refunding your ATM fees.
Correct.
So
it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So, I mean, we really like the Charles Schwab account. And of course, the Wise app, just for the convenience, being able to pay people in Mexico is just awesome. So, and yes, Sean, woohoo! We agree. All right. Question. So when in a restaurant and they ask you if you want the check in dollars or pesos, what do you say? What about the ones that don't ask?
We only do it one way.
We only do it in pesos. I don't know that we've ever been asked, but when we were at some places in Progreso, and this was anticipated because it was on the Malecón and they get a lot of tourists, sometimes they would have an English menu, and sometimes they have the Spanish menu, and it was suspected at times that the Spanish menu cost less money than the English menu. However, during our visits, that was found to not be the case. The prices were the same. But we always pay in pesos. We order in pesos and we pay in pesos. Yeah.
I mean, we live here in Mexico. I mean, I've got the same $3 that I brought back from the States. You know, when my aunt died, I've got two wallets. I've got my U.S. wallet and I got my Mexican wallet, which I still take my Mexican wallet because that's my wallet that goes everywhere. But my U.S. money is in that one. And I came back with $3 because I was like, might as well spend it because I'm not coming back anytime soon. And so I made it back with $3. And it's like, okay. But yeah, we live on the peso. The hardest part, honestly, is getting our head around what it really costs. Because we get so used to we don't know what's expensive. If we stop to think about it, like when we're grocery shopping, just the other day, a box of Captain Crunch was 169 pesos.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm going, $10 for a box of Captain Crunch.
No.
Oh, hell no. But when you start getting into the difference between a 40 peso and an 80 peso item, we don't really bother to even stop. And you're going, hold on, one's $2 and one's $4. And I'm doing rough math. It's almost $2.50 and $5. But we don't bother to comprehend that and think that because we're not in that mindset yet of being able to think that we're thinking only about pesos. We're buying with pesos. We're still in our mind going dollars.
Yeah.
And perfect example. Yesterday, we're in the mall.
Oh God, Krispy Kreme.
And so she's dealing with the Samsung people. Then she's trying to deal with the Telcel people and deal with an issue. And we're right around the corner. There's a kiosk for Krispy Kreme.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd been to the Krispy Kreme, literally walked to it. It's a 30-minute walk from here, down by the pier that goes to the ferry over to Cozumel. And we spent 208 pesos and we got 20 donuts. ate most of 20 donuts, a Coke, a coffee, and a small thing of milk because they didn't have any cream for the coffee. So she bought a small thing of milk. 208 pesos.
No, it was a special day.
Okay.
There might have been a special price.
I don't know. So in my brain, I'm going, so that means that may have cost us 150, 125 to 150 pesos for the donuts, throwing the drinks on top of that. So I go up there yesterday,
just he ordered a dozen.
I wanted a dozen donuts, two fresas, 2 maples, and 8 originals. And boom, boom, boom. Give him a 500 peso bill. Get the change back. Gives me the receipt, and we're going downstairs to get my haircut because it's this barbershop downstairs on the way to the car. We looked at it and went, "Hold on, is this right? 391 pesos
for a dozen
donuts?
Yeah.
Huh?
The rent must be high in the mall.
And it's not like he went, "Oh, I'm going to get this dumbass. I'm just going to tell him a number." It was on the receipt, 391 pesos. So, it's getting our brain wrapped around the pesos. And we tend to go, yeah, peso doesn't mean that much. Well, they do when they start to add up. So
Dave, I have been using my Schwab account for several years in Mexico. No issues. I use it to get cash to pay for things like rent or to have some cash. Yep.
That's us.
Yes, we do. And let's see here. And how do you get a Wise debit card, or is it just an app? When you open up your Wise account, you have the option of ordering a debit card. Mm-hmm. There is a fee for it. I think it was $9.
Something like that. It was under $10.
It might have been 10, but it's a one-time fee that you pay for the card. I think if you lose the card, there might be a replacement fee, but it's not as much. It might be $5 or something. But what you need to know, got it. I'll go to the next one. You can get cash out of an ATM with the Wise card, but there is a limit to how much per day. And but it's a very small amount in comparison. It's not a big amount.
Compared to Schwab, it is.
It's like $100, $150 a day. And then if you use it more than, I think, don't quote me, it's like either more than twice in a week or more than twice in a month. I can't remember what. Each transaction after that at an ATM will have a transaction fee as well. And it's not a huge fee, $1.50, something like that. But the point is that Wise is not designed. Yes, the ATM card is there, or the debit card's there. You can use it with an ATM, but what they want you to use the card with is to use it to make purchases.
Yeah, they want you to use the app, and they want to be able to do it electronically.
Well, they want you to use the card to make purchases.
Yeah.
Not to use it at an ATM.
Right. It's just.
So you just won't be able to get a lot of money.
And they're gonna
pill you. Now, as far as can you pay bills in Mexico with Wise? Yes, you can. But what has to happen is the person that you want to pay basically gets a direct deposit, an ACH deposit, wired or sent electronically to their bank account. So, for example, when I bought his hearing aids, they told me how much, and I made the exchange from my Charles Schwab account to my Wise account in US dollars. Then I made the exchange inside the Wise app from the US dollars to pesos. And then I had to transfer the pesos to the audiologist's bank account. It wasn't a business account. It was her bank account. So I had her name and I had her clave number, which I assume is the bank account number, and it sent it to her. You can do that with anybody in Mexico. If you have a landlord, as long as they give you the name and the clave, you send the money.
Well, if they want to get paid.
Yeah. So in that respect, you could use it to pay a person. or if the business has a person that is accepting those funds on behalf of the business, you can do it that way. I don't think you can use the app to just outright pay a bill. I think in that case, you would have to use your debit card to try to pay the bill.
Right.
And we haven't done that yet, but the secret with the Wise debit card is it's treated like a U.S. credit card type thing.
And not everybody takes them.
Yeah, and not everyone can take a U.S. credit card. We haven't run into that often. It's been a few times, only a few times, where it had to be
True.
a Mexican card.
Now,
otherwise, we haven't had an issue.
And that brings us to the next part. Always make sure you have a good supply of pesos in your pocket.
Okay.
Because that has almost come close to. I mean, we've been at a gas station. You know, they've already got the gas in the tank. You're paying them one way or another.
Yeah.
And the U.S. card did not go through, and it was like.
Sometimes what happens is you're in these locations where their internet isn't real good, and if they don't have strong internet and they can't process their card reader working, you know, then you've got to have cash. So.
Yeah, I mean, it happened here in Playa Car. We went to buy a pizza, and they couldn't get the thing to go through, and it was like it kept spinning and spinning and spinning, and they were like, you know,
cash is king in Mexico.
¿Tienes efectivo? Sí.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Un momento. You know. So.
And Chase Sapphire Visa for credit card purchases with no foreign transaction fees. That's a good one. Just not liking the current exchange rates. Of
Nobody
course.
is.
Yeah, they're not good.
I mean, we liked it better a year ago.
Took a few years just to start thinking in pesos. I was always converting in my mind what the price was in dollars. It was easy. Yes, it was divide by 20 at the time. That was so easy. Now it's like, well, what is it today? Do I divide by 16? Do I divide by 17? I don't know. I can't figure it out.
Even if you divide by 20, yes, you're but at least you're close. It gives you a ballpark, you know. I mean, I'm better at the math part of it, doing it quickly than she is. But it's just, you know, you look at it and go, because she'll go, what's that, $9? I mean, that's what she said yesterday about the donuts. We were getting in the car. She goes, isn't that like $9? I'm like, no, baby, that's more like $24.
Yeah, I about choked.
And she went, what? It's like, what? I'm like, yeah.
I'm thinking $9 is a lot, and then it's really closer to 20.
And then she had to go
for a dozen
on her
donuts.
phone, go, current price of Krispy Kreme dozen in the U.S.
Yeah, I was searching. I did see that the current price
is 18.
Is almost $18. So I'm like, it's really not that much more than what it is right now.
No, we sure like that deal we got.
Bad. Yeah, something was going on that day. It was a special anniversary. I'm sure we got a good discount on that day. Do you know someone or does someone listening know if there are cruises that cater to Mexican citizens, like from some port in Mexico to Belize or Mexico to Costa Rica? Costa Rica.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
But it seems like all of the cruises are still coming out of either California or Florida or
and it's interesting because a lot of the cruises, they staff people, I want to say almost predominantly from the Philippines, but they staff a lot of people from other countries. And geez, no, that's a good question.
I don't know. I mean, we did look at that because we sort of went, well, could we do a cruise from Mexico? And what we found out was we were literally going to have to fly from Mexico back to Florida, get on a boat, come back to Mexico if we wanted to do that, and then get back to Florida and fly back. Why? I mean,
that's just kind of crazy, isn't it? I mean, because a lot of these cruises, they'll take you on a European cruise. You could do a transatlantic, and they'll go to Spain and everything else.
Yes.
But
I think this is going to be changing because of the fact that the Mexican economy has become such a juggernaut. It's about to crack one of the top 10 economies in the world.
Yep.
And so a lot of the things that people go, well, you can't do that in Mexico. It's a third world country. Well,
no, it's not.
No, it's not. It's one of the top 10 economies in the world. people are going to start paying attention, and they are doing a lot of things infrastructure wise, as far as ports and putting in, the Mayan train and the train that's going across the country that's going to compete with the Suez Canal, where they're going to be able to go in, drop off freight from China on the West Coast and train it right across instead of having to go through the Panama Canal. So they're doing a lot of things that are really going to help elevate the economy here in Mexico, and that's going to make a difference. So I got a feeling that may not be the case right now. In 5 years, that may change dramatically because they got the cruise ports. I mean, they're stopping here. Mm-hmm. All we got to do is figure out how to start them here.
And just as a good, she said she also agrees on the economy point. Yep. Okay, so this is a good question. Where is the best place to get pesos small denomination? Okay, if you already have a large peso bill, you can often go to a very busy OXXO. Mm-hmm. And they can give you smaller denominations. Mm-hmm. It just makes sure
buy a Coca and give them a $500 peso, and they'll look at you.
Yeah, they may not like it, but they do. If they do enough business, and a lot of the OXXOs are very, very busy, they will have the change to give you.
Yeah. Or you can do like I like to do and pull up to the toll booth and give them a 500 peso bill, and they look at me like, seriously?
I know.
And I'm going, you're not doing nothing here but collecting money, Yeah,
well, realistically, not everyone's driving. So
I know. I'm just saying.
Definitely the OXXOs are a good place to go, particularly if it's a busy OXXO, because OXXO does so much business, and a lot of it is cash business.
Yes.
People are paying their CFE bills and their water bills and their gas bills, or they'll go and they'll order something on Amazon or Mercado Libre or something, and they'll literally just walk to the OXXO to pay for it. I mean, OXXO is like the hub.
Yes.
For taking money and banking for people on things like that.
And I have to give the shout out on this one to Cheryl and Ray, because Ray was the one that said, take out an odd amount.
A weird amount
at the ATM. Don't make it 9,000 pesos. Make it 8,700 pesos.
Or make it
something. Well, no, it depends. Because some ATMs will tell you, it has to be in denominations of 100 peso bill.
So ask for
something
6,000,
whatever,
200,
whatever, but don't make it even 1,000 amounts, and you get a normally a greater array of bills. And because most of the time, like if I were to take out 9,000 pesos, the first 7,000 of them are probably going to be, or 7,500 of them would probably be 500. Then they would do a combination of 5 100s and 5 200s.
500. I know that now. Yes.
Yep.
All right. So, Derek. Hola, Derek.
Hola,
Thank you
Derek.
for joining us. I enjoy following your adventures. So fun. Hello from Canada. Hello, our friends to the north.
God, I hope you're staying warm up there.
For real. Let's see here. And life, the tea, the tie.
Well, we've been on so long. Jenny's done her class and come back.
She's back. That's true.
Yeah.
Jeez, Jenny.
She's probably going, really? They're still going?
I know. It's been a while. We probably should wrap this up like within the next 6 minutes and call it an even
2.5.
Even 9:30 at night Eastern, 8:30 Central type thing.
7:30 Mountain and 6:30 Pacific.
That's
if
right.
You just want to keep
That's
going.
right. We'll just keep going. Why don't we cross over the Pacific and just keep on going?
Because I get lost after that. I don't know what the hell they call. I know how to do the math, but I don't know what they call it. You have Alaskan, then you have Hawaiian. After that, I'm toast.
Toast?
Toast.
He's toast. Okay.
And it'd be 5:30 Alaskan and 4:30 Hawaiian.
Oh, here's an interesting thing. Domino's Pizza in Mexico is pretty good. I didn't want to believe anybody because I don't like Domino's Pizza in the U.S. I don't know what they do that's different in Mexico, but it's pretty good. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it really was one of those when we first got here. We were like, all right, the whole driving, after all that fiasco, we were hungry, and it was like, all right, we couldn't find Little Caesars had closed and this and that, and it was like, all right, we're going to get a Domino's because they're the only thing open.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, whatever. I don't like Domino's.
But it was the only thing open, so it was good. People told us that it was not the same, and I didn't believe them because, well, it's Domino's. It was good. Just putting that out there. Hey, and I was going to show this really quick from Wilfredo. Have a great night because he's saying goodbye. Gracias, Wilfredo. And we'll see you in Querétaro for sure.
Oh yeah.
And we will definitely be having some mezcal.
No.
Yes.
Yes. No. Yes. No.
And hola Jesse. Hey. Thank you for joining. What was our feeling on the safety in Merida? Perfectly fine.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
this is the prime example. He wasn't feeling good on Independence Day, and we were waiting to do El Grito, right? And he wasn't feeling good. And
no, I can tell you how bad it was. When you're sick, when you are going, I'm willing to throw up in a Mexican porta john.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
So I said to him, look, why don't you just go back to the house? And he goes, are you sure you feel okay walking back home? I'm like, yeah. And he did. Now, if he was concerned about my safety, I promise you, I would not have left. He would not have left me there. But he walked back, and then when the Grito was done and the concert was like, I left halfway through the concert. They had a concert after the Grito, and I walked. No issues.
We never at any point, and we walked a good bit of that city. Mm-hmm. We really did. And nowhere did we ever feel even remote. Again, be mindful of what your surroundings and pay attention to what's going on. But I never had the spidey sense going, this is not where we need to be. So.
All right. Yeah. No, we thought Merida was great. Hey, Laura, jumping on to say hola. I was in my Spanish class.
Es bueno?
Es bueno? So I'm trying to figure how I would say this. I'm going to say, ¿te puedes hablar español? You can speak Spanish? Did I say it right?
What did you say at the beginning?
Puedes?
Te or me?
I'm not using either because you don't have to.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. Es el queso. Cheese. Wensleydale cheese. This Wensleydale cheese had raspberries and Prosecco in it. It's really good. All right. You have a great evening too. Thank you for jumping on.
Yes, Raul, we will be back. And we will definitely spend some, make sure we get a hookup when we're back in Querétaro.
Ooh, what's this? Oh, did I forget something? I passed something. I'm sorry. Chorizo, ham, and onion with a backslap of Valentina. Okay, well, I missed this. I'm sorry. Hello, Raul. Don't forget to put us on that get-together list when you were live in Querétaro. We, you know what? We'll just have a big get-together. There's so many people that we've already met and know that are there, and we've got all of you wonderful additional people to add to the list. We'll just have a big party or something. I'm just saying.
I'm always up for a party.
That's right.
And if I need any reinforcements, I just get Arlene, and we're good to go on the party side.
That's right.
Her and Annie.
It'll be a good time.
Yep.
For sure. It will. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up because it is 9:30 and it's been a long one. I always am afraid to do these lives for a really long time because if I'm going to be honest, I can't watch somebody else's live for this long. I just can't. I don't have the time. And
But if they're going to stay on,
I know it's great, but
it's like sitting around the kitchen table and
No, I
talking with
know.
our friends.
I know
So
it's cool. It's cool. It's just I just know for myself, I would never have that dedication to sit and watch somebody's live for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. So we love that you do. Thank you, and we like getting the questions. We love that you're here. Thank you, Tom. Big hug back, honey. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. We hope that you have a great evening and the rest of the week.
Yep.
We will be back. Restream is the bomb. Apparently this went well. We're very happy. No more StreamYard. Restream is where we're going to stay.
And if they get it upstairs, we're going to give you a whole different look next time. But in 2 weeks,
2 weeks, we'll be back with another live.
And the next video is the
Campeche disaster. Yes.
So
thank you, Suzanne. You as well. Yes, Campeche is going to be the next one. I wish I could tell you it will be tomorrow. It might not be tomorrow. It might be the next day. I'm just so sorry.
When it comes, it comes.
It'll come.
Yep.
I promise. And then the one after that's going to be Ginger's Jungle Rescue. All right, guys. Have a see you soon. Thank you, Laura.
Thanks, Rick.
And Rick. Thank you so much.
Adios.
Adios.